audio figured out. Yes. I'm hopeful. Let's see. Let us see. It's always so hard to get this started with trying to pull it up on my phone and getting the stream going. Yeah, we're good. We're good. I think we're doing okay. All right. So we are making dinner. It's always so hard to get this started with trying to pull it up on my phone. And I'm going to put this on silent. All right. So that is looking great. Whoops. Hi, hello, and welcome. We are cooking dinner per usual. All I make is dinner. And if you had any guesses, it's going to be a riff on Asian cooking per usual. We're going to do two things. First, actually three things. First, cheers to the Monday. We got through it. It's absolutely freezing cold, legitimately freezing cold in Seattle. It was like 13 degrees out today. It also snowed yesterday, which is one of the reasons. I have very little food in my home, unable to go out and get more food. Hence us cooking with like not enough or all of the right ingredients. So per usual, we're making Asian food. Tonight it's like a riff on like two different Korean dishes. If there's any Koreans in the chat or in the stream watching, I apologize. This is going to be like probably offensive to you in the sense that this is like a stretch in even calling this Korean food. The first is going to be Bulgolgi. It's basically, Bulgolgi means like fried meat or fire and meat. So the first way that we're doing this incorrectly is typically it's cooked over actual fire or like a grill or like a griddle where you can get like the flat top, right? You get like a good sear on either side or like some good coloring on either side. I obviously don't have either of those, so we're gonna be using this guy here to get the pork going, and that's gonna be served over rice. The second misstep or lack of ingredient on this one here is gonna be the rice. I only have Thai sticky rice, so we're gonna be using Thai sticky rice. So that's dish one. Second dish is going to be, again, a riff on, we're going to call this ramyum, which is like Korean's version of ramen. This is the bulldog. If you've been in the stream, you've seen these before. This is like my favorite version of like pre-made ramen or like noodles. These are so fucking good. It's like $1 for one of these, maybe $1.50. The sauce that comes with them, super good, uncommonly spicy, which is great. The noodles are like actually good noodles, which is not similar to like the 15-cent top ramen that you usually buy. So we're doing that as the kind of noodle dish with the rice and the pork. Pork, speaking of, has been marinating in a whole slew of things. Just trust me that it's going to be delicious. See if we can get a better looking shot. Oh. Just know it looks good and smells good and will be good. So we got that going. First step is really like setting up the timing and making sure everything is hot and ready at the same time. First thing we need to do is boil our water and get the rice cooker going. Let's start with the rice. So when you go to the store, you ever see sweet rice? That is actually sticky rice. Took me about an hour and a half looking through the Asian market, literally trying to find sticky rice, and then deciding to Google like what the fuck sweet rice is, and the first thing it says is sweet rice is also known as sticky rice. So there's that. All right, got my bowl here. It's like just a little pot. Eyeball everything. Now, I have a friend, or had a friend in college. She was from actual Thailand, and all rice you're taught to like wash, right? She said that they don't wash sticky rice to get like the starch out. Even with washing it, like it's still gonna be starchy and still gonna be like the sticky rice like feel that you're looking for. But I'm not gonna wash it. I don't think that washing it or not washing it is gonna have like a great effect. But she's from Thailand and she told me that they don't wash their sticky rice. So we're gonna do just a quick pinky method. Just above the line, just a little bit below this like first line here. And then we'll get this going. That honestly feels like a little bit too much. All right. The other great thing about the rice cooker is that it is very forgiving. So a little too much, a little not enough, like you'll be in good shape. All right, second thing is gonna be our pasta water or ramen water, ram-yum water. We'll get that going. Quick little factoid. Ramen is Japanese. Ramyum is Korean. Pretty much the same exact thing. I think like ramyum has like more veggie based, like has cabbage in it and like more things along those lines, but there you go. Fun little fact. We learn things out here. All right, so the other thing that goes with the bulgogi is it's typically like meat and onions, like marinated meat and onion. And the next thing that we're gonna do is use the rest of my onion, which is like not a lot. The other thing I don't have is green onion, which is annoying. So we're gonna use cilantro instead, just as like a topper, like nothing like over the top or overpowering, so to speak. But keep that in mind, that is not typical. So let's get this chopped really quickly. I literally have like, usually they have like julienne strips of it in there. And I already use this like as a like medium dice. So I might just continue with that. Just for some uniformity. We'll get rid of the little core piece. And this does not feel like a lot of onion. literally grabbing every last little piece. All right, I do have a shallot. We're gonna throw a shallot in there just to add to the onion piece. The only part is I probably don't want all of this shallot. All right. All right, peel this guy. Let's get a, so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Again, we're just gonna try and match this shape and size just for some uniformity. Maybe like in half, that's about right. All right, that looks good. All right, we're just gonna take a little bit of this cilantro. Again, I'm just literally going through anything I have in my fridge. I feel like I'm halfway snowed in here. And using anything I can find to make this work. And to be honest, who doesn't love cilantro? Unless you're one of those weird gene people who have like the soap cilantro gene. God, how unfortunate would it be to be one of those people? I think that might be like the first question I ask when I start dating someone. Like, so tell me about your like cilantro. What are your thoughts on cilantro? It's just such a great addition. I can't imagine it ever tasting like soap to me. All right, just a quick chop on this, nothing insane. My new favorite way to cut cilantro is to like barely cut it. For whatever reason, like the bigger like chunks of it just add to like, I mean, it makes sense. You get just more of the flavor. Nothing crazy. All right, we'll leave that like that. All right, so it's really, this is gonna be like the most simple dish. Like, I guess all the flavors coming from the marinade. And these are just like the two additional kind of additional additions. Love that. And then all of the flavor is going to come from this guy. So the other thing that I know, I feel it probably feels like I'm cheating here with using like this pre-packaged deal. I promise we're going to be adding things to it and switching it up. So we'll get that going. Let's see here. The other fun thing with ramen that a lot of like Americans don't mess with or fuck with their ramen is the cheese addition. It is uncommonly typical to have cheese added to your ramen, whether it's like melted on top or like a cheese sauce, cheese mayo sauce, like within the broth. So it's like this kind of like more like gravy opposed to like a ramen broth. So good. So I don't have any cheese, unfortunately, but that's a super typical addition. So if you ever see that, like, run with it, go with it. Don't resist. I promise it's a great piece. The other thing with these onions is we don't want to cook them too much either. This is again where like I struggle with like cooking techniques because when you're so used to cooking the meat, creating the fond, taking the meat out, adding the aromatics, the onion, the garlic, the shallot, cooking that, then deglazing that, getting all the flavor off that, and like that's where you like create your base of flavor. With this, it's completely different. It's all about the marinade. It's all about like the marinade not only adding flavor but creating the tenderness as well. So that's going to be huge. And then it is pretty simple. Like there's nothing all that involved, at least with this one here. So I think it's of course going to be a great time. I've never honestly made this iteration of it, so it should be good. But like when the marinade smells and tastes amazing, like you can't go too wrong. All right, what's this looking like? We're getting some bubbles up top. Let's get this pan going. This is what's going to cook our pork in. So this is savored. Let's wait for this to like focus up a bit. What's up, bro? You not see this? There we go. This is rendered pork fat. Oh, come on, bro. Come on. Is it really that bright? I'm gonna freak out. Is it that bright? You see it? Alright, pork fat. That's all you need to know. Where's my spoon at? Get a nice little dollop of this guy going. Oh, that was satisfying. A nice little whatcha. Okay. The other thing that you hear me talk about to death is what type of fat you cook with. We're cooking pork. We're using pork to cook the pork. Pork fat to cook the pork. And we also want a high smoke point fat, which is like vegetable oil, canola oil. We're gonna let this come up to heat easily. We don't need to burn it as it just like scorch it, like let it just like come up to temperature. Nothing too wild there. Let's start cleaning up a touch. I don't know why, but lime, like fresh lime on top just sounds great to me. So we're gonna go with that. All right, this guy is rocking and rolling. Again, these go quick, couple minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. We're looking for the al dente, the slightly undercooked, and then we'll finish it in the sauce as well, so no need to worry there. This guy's steaming, that's good. And it's really like once these just start to loosen up and like actually like come apart from their disc brick that they come in, a minute or two after that, then they're good to go. Really nothing crazy at all. Oh. All right, our fat is all melted. Let's cover this pan. All right, gorgeous. And this oven or this stovetop runs hot, so I'm on like a 3, and I guarantee it's gonna be like searing level hot. Okay, so this is good to go. Strain these guys. All right, this is what they look like. Nothing too crazy. Basic ass noodles. This is gonna be the death of me if this shit doesn't gets blown out in brightness every time. Yeah, I just got this new camera. This guy. Woo. Literally for Christmas. I think it's a good camera. It's just I don't get why it's all blown out on the brightness. All right, no matter, no matter. Okay. All right, now we're basically going to make the base of the sauce for this ramyun. Again, going against all my better judgment or training and just putting chicken broth, chicken stock in a plain empty pan. Feels very wrong. All right, the next piece is to, again, continue with this. This is their base flavor. This is just like pure spicy. So we just add like a third of this, like nothing crazy at all. Maybe a fourth. And that's gonna be insanely hot. Ugh. All right, as it goes with like most Asian, or like what I love most about certain Asian dishes are the key kind of like hits, right? So we got the savory, the salty, the soy sauce. We got the acid, which is the cooking one, shaoxing. We got the fat. We got the sesame oil. And we got the sweet. We got honey. Does this not remind you of like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or peanut butter? Remember peanut butter and honey? Do you guys ever have peanut butter and honey? All right. This looks fucking sketch a little bit, right? There's none left, but that's the sweetener, and then we got the other stuff going on here. So we've added our hot and our soup like stock base. That's all mixed. Let's add the rest of this. Turn the heat up a bit. Just a touch of that. A touch of that. Not too much sesame oil, excuse me. Oh, this honey is like so crystallized. We're on our last leg of this honey. Oh, come on, brother. Come on, brother. All right. All right, solid start, solid start. Nothing, nothing too like over the top or too one way or the other. So I like that. Once again, here is our pork that we'll be cooking here in a moment. We'll just leave that there for you guys to look at. Let's put all this back. All right, my hood keeps falling down. Leave the hood down. Leave the hood down. All right, what else we got going on? How's our oil? Yeah, I need to adjust the brightness on this camera here. All this like glare like going on like right here. That's a little much. That's a little much. Hopefully it's adjustable and I'm not just kind of screwed with how my lighting set up here. Alright, this is coming up. Already tastes well on its way. Just reducing a little bit. The bet, like, everyone's always saying, everyone, in my world, my cooking world, reduce, this reduction, this, everything's being reduced. It's like the epitome of consolidating flavor, right? Reducing, removing the water, which has very little flavor, if any, only concentrates the other flavors that are there. So, for better or for worse, right? Like, it can go both ways quite easily. That's what we're doing with this. It's coming to a simmer as we speak, so it's a good temperature. And we are gonna add just a touch more sugar to this, sweetener. We're gonna do brown sugar. Said it already like 4 times, but I'm out of everything in my house. I literally have no food to make or eat otherwise. Hopefully the roads are clear enough that I can drive my car tomorrow to the grocery store. But that's why everything is so like a little bit different, just a little different. Alright, this is a good temp. Let's add a little brown sugar. See if we have a time on this guy. 9 minutes on the rice. This is gonna be perfect. Alright, the reason we've added what might seem like a lot of sugar, I promise it's not a lot of sugar. But what might seem like a lot of sugar is a few reasons. One, we do want this to like coat these noodles, and the best way to do that is to like kind of get this like syrupy resembling sauce. And sugar does a great job at that. The other thing is there's just such bold flavors in such as like the heat elements. This is gonna be super spicy. Salt element. It's gonna have like a lot of salt from the soy, whatever the heat mixture. I guarantee is salty. It's just salt. Like Asian food has a lot of salt to it. And then there's the acid, right? The cooking wine, and you really need to balance these flavors out. Otherwise, it's gonna be like this mouth attack of like too much of this or not enough of that. So the sugar helps in a lot of ways. So don't just think that I'm constantly adding sugar to things. I promise it's only in like situations like this. Honestly, outside of this, like well, sometimes. But outside of this, I don't eat dessert. I don't eat candy. Typically, it's not my go-to. So, but yeah, that's why we're adding so much sugar. Okay, sugar piece is good. I think that looks great. Just keep this guy reducing. Flavor's there. Heat is definitely there. My God. All right. This is just our oil. Bring this up to heat a little bit higher. Just slowly incrementing it. Not entirely necessary, but that's what we're doing here. And then we'll put the pork on. Might need to open a door so it doesn't get too smoky in here. We'll finish get the noodles in there, get this all going, serve it up, and be in good shape. All right, for those of you joining me, I think we're ready for the next one. Cheers. The other thing with sauces like this, when you're making sauces like this, soy and sugar as well, they burn so easily, and it creates this like very acrid taste. It's not a pleasant thing. So you truly do want to make sure we're doing low heat here. It's just simmering. It's just at the point of like bubbling, right? I don't know if you guys can see it's hard to tell, but I promise there's little baby bubbles there, just bubbling. And we'll let that keep going as this guy comes up to heat, and then we'll start getting this guy going. Oh, we're sparkling a little bit. Guarantee this will not help with the glare. Making things worse. Love it. Alright, we'll put this over here. This is what I always put like cooked meat on. Ugh. Turn this guy up just a touch. It looks like we lost our bubbles. I always try and flip this guy over so this doesn't happen. See, it's like stuck in there. Annoying. You also notice like how little sauce there is. It's like, it's not a lot. There's no way you would describe this as a broth either. That's intentional, obviously. With these, I always want it to be like the gravy or like in most Asian cooking, they even call it dry noodles, even though they're not dry, but like versus a broth, like certainly dry. Yeah. All right, look at, do you see the smoke come off this? All right, we are rip roaring. And we're only at the fucking number 6. All right. Sleeves up. Let's get this going. All right, so basically we got our tongs, we got our meat. We're doing one piece at a time here. I think I have like 10 or 12 pieces in here. So we might have to do 2 batches, but the other thing is you kind of want to get as much of the sauce off as you can. All right, we got these in. Mix our oil around. So these guys are looking. All right, keep this guy going. I just get like oil all over me. Oh, you can see the oil everywhere. It's hilarious. Okay, no worries. Really, we're just letting these go. This one did have like a nice little start to a crust. And really, I'm just lifting these up a touch and putting them right back down. And what that's doing is letting the oil come back under them and going right back on top of the oil. We don't do it a lot. You don't want to mess with it a lot. It reduces like the char on them or the coloring on them. So once or so or twice between each flip, and we do kind of move it around the oil here. You'll notice how the sauce is sticking to the meat as well as it can. It's not like immediately dispersing. A few things. We're using pork tenderloin. It's gonna absorb a lot of the sauce and like almost become one with it. I just feel like I'm getting attacked here. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is like the hot oil. It's just making it like stick and like just stay with the meat here. All right, let's see what we're looking like. Second longer on some of these. I just want a little bit more color. All right, we've turned up our heat a little bit more. Once we flip these, we're gonna add the onion. We're gonna let those kind of sear and then really turn off the heat, let it do its thing and finish up. Let's see what this guy is looking like. Ooh. Add a touch more oil. We're gonna add our scallion and, shallot and onion. The reason we're adding this towards the end, we do want just a quick hit on this. We don't want it to be this like soggy, like mushy onion in your mouth. We do want it to have this like crunch and bite and just like a little bit of color, flavor, and then like a good crunch to break up the monotony of like the tender meat and the tender rice, right? This smells absolutely insane. All right, turn that down just a bit. Let this finish up. How we doing here? How we doing here? All right. We're taking our pasta. I keep saying pasta. Adding that in. And really we're just gonna incorporate this into the noodles here. And they're gonna start breaking down, not being as so like sticky, as they just kind of like drink in this sauce. Heat's still going. We still have a little bit more flavor to add here in a moment. Do you love how all this is like coming together like super quick right at the end per usual? Just checking on color. Honestly looking great. Alright, turning the heat off on this. There's still heat coming out of it. We're turning just the actual burner off. And let this just finish. As I try to reduce some of the oil everywhere. My God. We're looking good though. We're doing good, we're looking good. Quick spin on this guy. Alright, that guy looks great. Alright, this is finishing up great and perfect timing, right? Our sticky rice is done. Our pork bulgogi is looking great. We got our ram yum with cheese. This sweet, savory, spicy, tangy, cheesy sauce. We're cheersing as this is all kind of finalizing. Turn this heat down. Could you ask for anything more? I don't know. I really don't know. Let's get a lime going just to finish her off. Oh, this looks great, smells great, everything is turning out great. Alright, serve this up. Yeah, we're cleaning. Alright, that's looking good. Alright, let's get the pork bulgogi plated a little bit. We're doing rice on the bottom, meat on the top. Little rice hitter. Look at that steam. Looks absolutely beautiful. Okay, that looks great. Let's get some of this beef. I've called it beef like 7 times tonight. It's pork, and it wants to fall apart. It has no intention of being a tough chew. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? It's supposed to be the most tender thing that's hit your lips in a long time. I'm fucking up the presentation per usual. Making it look worse than it needs to be. Why do I I do it? Why do I do this? Okay. Lime piece is too big. A little half guy. See how that guy looks, maybe. Maybe 2 lime pieces, kind of. I don't know, man. I'm not good at the presentation piece. This is why I need like a girl in my life. Show me how to present things that look pretty. Alright, this we got. We got 2. Oh, the fucking lighting constantly being blown out. And I always go the wrong way. Alright. Alright. How we looking? How we looking? I feel like you can't see shit. Alright, let's try this other. We got the spicy pork bulgogi with the cilantro that is not typical. And the lime that is also not typical. And the sticky rice that is also not typical. Alright, and then we have the this is, you can't even call this ramyun. I don't know what you would call this. It's like a sexy noodle and a sexy sauce. That's all I know. That's all I got for you guys. That's all I got. Alright. This has been great. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. We're doing one last. Cheers. We're calling it a night. Peace out.